All right, hello everybody, welcome. We are going to be watching some recorded games here between Joey Bads and Skater X7, also known as Till the Stars Expire, as we can see up here on the top right. These are some games. This is a match from the Athenian League. I'm Colonel JJ, the fine host of the Athenian League, the finest of fine hosts, I should say. Not to pat myself on the back. And this is just a set from the regular season, and was a set that one of the players reached out to me and said, "Hey, could you take a look at this and maybe give me a little bit of tips or something, just to help me out a little bit?" And I was kind of thinking of showcasing these players a little bit anyway, because usually people in the bottom leagues, get ignored. So everyone's special to me, including Raptor AOM. It's just right here. Right here. And Elias! Hola! Paquito! Paquito! Spanish. Very Paquito. Um, but good to see you. And Imonum as well. And we are watching, yes, it's a Ra versus Isis on Mirage. It's not a standard map that you would see. Do I have the settings right? Yep. See it occasionally in some of the tournaments, but we are just looking at a map. If you're familiar with maybe towards the end of Age of Mythology, Legacy, we were starting to play this map quite a bit in tournaments and such. And it's back on Legacy, or Retold, I mean. And I believe Joey Bats picked this, maybe. You need some tips about ISIS, so I guess we could maybe watch Joey Bads as well as Skater, just kind of go over what the players are doing a little bit. Um, if you are playing Ra, you do really want to get this monument out as soon as possible, and I do believe he also has the pickaxe upgrade. He's getting it. The only thing, though, I would maybe consider on this map, though the fish are kind of far away from the shoreline, and we could maybe even compare economies a little bit, is it would probably be better here, instead of getting your pickaxe upgrade on this map, is to get on the fish. Even though the fish isn't super great, it's still better than pickaxe, I would say, because pickaxe gives you what, a 10% bonus and a little bit more carry capacity, but that only affects it if they have to walk. So I would prefer getting the dock here, because even if you put this monument here, you can actually empower the dock as well on this map. So certainly should have empowered the dock. And Joey Bats, I'm going to guess, is going to do like a fast heroic play. You'd probably want to see that from the Isis here, is just a good fast heroic. I guess, Samet, it would depend on trying to help you out, is I guess what are you struggling with ISIS, or what do you normally try to do with ISIS? I know a lot of players do a fast heroic with Ancestors Eclipse and then just kind of a one town center timing push, which does work pretty well. I got a buddy, Ryfang, who's been doing that and has had some decent success. I mean, he's, I think, up to the 1600s in the rating ladder, so it works. I mean, is it going to get you to the top? Maybe not, but if you wanted to compete, you probably can. But what we see here from Joey Bads here is getting an early second monument as well, as the ISIS player. And we could probably fast forward a little bit in this agent. Now he does have the dock. Looks like he wanted to maybe just hit that age up button first and then start getting the dock, but I would think you'd want to do that. Do we have... Okay, we need to... Was it Alt-T? Yeah, switches it. Now he's getting the fish out to get on all the the docks, the boats out to get on all the fish. And here, you know, I wouldn't. This map is actually a little bit bigger, I think, than the standard map, at least longer. It's not very wide, because you can see it kind of chops off the map halfway through, but it's a little bit longer. So there's actually a little bit more time that the opponent has to kind of figure out what they want to do. I could really see just kind of a basic fast heroic from both players here, because it just seems like it would take so long for any sort of classical age timing to do any damage, and I would be a little bit reluctant to grab a town center here, because the town centers are, oh, there's one back, but it just doesn't protect any gold. So if you grab like this back town center, I really don't know what you would do as far as more gold, because the gold is all pretty forward. This one I guess isn't, but it's unprotected. So depending on, like, if maybe this one gold mine would have like spawned, like say the town center is here, you could maybe get that and get your safe gold mine. But we do have the double Sphinx. You don't want to lose them. Okay, he does get out, a little bit of pressure. This is pretty standard here, is getting your two Sphinx, getting their upgrades. Does he have both upgrades? It looks like he just has one upgrade. I would be a little bit more careful with the Sphinx coming in before you get the speed upgrade, because then that means that they could get hit a lot easier. But yeah, there's some room to get on these. There's no pressure on. Oh, watch out your Sphinx though. Oh, you don't want to lose it. Yeah, you don't want to lose them. The Sphinx are very valuable. But some good pressure here by Skater, move till the stars expire, as joeybadz is aging up, as Skater is not yet. Skater's a little behind in probably aging up. I feel like what you do here is you wouldn't make this third here, Kafinks. You would just stay at 2. Always got to watch those idols too. I mean, there they go. It's a lot of early resources. Like, the earlier you short yourself on resources, the more of an impact that has on the game. I mean, I don't know how long they were standing idle, but also this gold mine here could actually be, the gathering here could be greatly improved. So what you want to do when they are all lined up like this is you move these two down here, and then you basically select like all of these and click right here, and then all of them can get crammed into the mining camp. But like, this is a pretty poor mining camp, and actually this does cost quite a bit of resources here. I mean, 2, 3, 3.5 seconds a trip. So you essentially, there's 7 seconds of complete. Well, now she can't even find a spot to mine. This is not a good mining camp here, and will cost quite a bit of resources. I mean, and early on, those little bit of resources do matter quite a bit. Ooh, I would like the Sphinx to get on the Scorpion Man here. So really just garrison this. The reflexes here are, well, not super good. And really, this, just that itself, that lack of response, I mean, essentially might as well be the game there. Oh, don't come back out. There's still 30 seconds left. Why did they pop back? Oh, this has to have been a mistake that he popped them back out. Yeah. You just gotta keep them in. And then losing more villagers on the bottom. I mean, this is just something that could very much just be avoided just by keeping them garrisoned the whole time. So I'm not sure exactly what Skater was like paying attention to at the time that this Ancestor's Eclipse got cast, but of all like the things to focus on, I mean the Ancestor's Eclipse cast has to be like the number one thing. Um, he also was a little bit unfortunate. I think he thought that this was walled off, but it wasn't. There's a gap here. Would have helped a little bit to like wall this and then make sure, and then wall this as well, or just make sure this is blocked off. Just gives you a little bit more time. But yeah, as soon as, I mean, you should be expecting in this matchup an early Ancestor's Eclipse, I think, just to slow you down. So really not much of an excuse to not have a quick response. I mean, what you could also do, and I would recommend this, is put up a line of obelisks, and especially in this map, since you get early map control with the multiple Sphinx. That's what I would recommend, because then you can see it coming and know that okay, the Scorpion Man's coming across. So what's going to happen here is, unfortunately for Skater, is that getting all these villagers dead so quickly will prevent him from getting the gold that he needs to match any sort of army production. Another Scorpion Man coming down on the bottom. Loses 2 more villagers, and he cannot afford that. Not at all. So yeah, he basically, the game's kind of lost there on just the, like, it's not, there's no, there's no bad strategy, there's no really not like bad gameplay, so to speak. It's just one bad response at the very most crucial part of the game ends the game. And now we see that joeybadz is going up with Osiris here, and why not? I mean, he did so much damage to this. There's really, I mean, he gets so much power from Osiris. There's really no point in trying to push this. Just be careful, to get your Osiris, because you're not going to get pushed back by the rod anytime here. So might as well. I would question in this matchup the 4th monument certainly would not be of value in this case. I wouldn't get it in this matchup. That's a lot of resources and time put into. Also, I think, why go for this? I mean, you got this gold mine right here. Just don't go forward. Get that one. So that's a very simple, I guess, game here. I mean, Ancestor's Eclipse, quick age up into this. I mean, what you really could do to counter this is just make, like, instead of that last monument that Skater built, I mean, might as well, like, what does this cost? 200, 200. I mean, it's not super expensive, but convert the 400 resources into 4 priests, and Ancestor's Eclipse with a proper, quick response wouldn't do any damage. And that's what I would recommend here, is cut this monument. You're facing Isis, you're going to see Ancestor's Eclipse at some point. Just make the 4 priests. And maybe once you see the enemy age up, you probably want to have your Sphinx to come back to help fight as well. And if you fight that off as Ra, you should have a better economy overall, and then you have a pretty good fighting chance to just get on this gold mine down here and do what you need to do to compete with the Isis. Unfortunately here, just losing so many villagers with Ancestor's Eclipse kind of just means the game's over, and it really doesn't matter what happens from there. But let's take a look at the resources. So yeah, you can see that not making the fishing ships is By the time we're at the 5-minute mark, he's 400 resources behind with ISIS empowerment, or Ra empowerment. So that's kind of the foundational mistake that puts him behind the age up timing here. I mean, 816 isn't a fast age up. The 931 is way too slow. This should be like at least a minute and a half earlier. It should be here. And some of that is just he's 400, essentially 400 food short of what he could be at this time minute, and to be this far behind with nothing has really happened at this point in the game at 5 minutes to be 400 resources behind Ezra just kind of indicates that what you did leading into that was not the right play. So yeah, pretty a simple game to look at. I mean, just made the wrong decision to not go on fish, lost too many villagers, and then at that point the game's just kind of over, and Joey gets what would be one of his easier victories, I would think, because not a whole lot went into that. I mean, age up, cast Ancestors Eclipse, age up to Mythic Age. That's your game. Athenian League Season 2. Let's go to our next game. And we are going to be looking at Ra versus Zeus. So joeybadz has switched to Ra. And Skater X7 has switched over to Zeus. And what I would like here, so we kind of came in at the end where these villagers were sitting idle for 15 seconds before they shot at the Aurochs. What I would do here, I mean, you gotta, I guess not quite 15 because they spawn a little bit late. I would send these first 3 probably just to chop this tree down while the other villager lures the Aurochs in, and you end up with a plus 30 resources at the 20-30 second mark. You have to be a little kind of quick to get all that done, but yeah, you just click 1, attack, other 3 there, run this one back. Once these drop off their wood, you just put them on the Aurochs. But nice to be able, nice gold mine placement here, but can they fit in between the storehouse and the gold mine? I'm not sure. You always want to have enough room to put a villager in between. You do have the bolt on the priest. I mean, I guess it prevents the Ra from getting goats, but I don't know if that's really of value. I would almost think that you would rather shoot the Aurochs here with the town center. Come on. He's really running a fine line because this villager isn't quite within leash range. Yeah, why is he not shooting the Aurochs with the town center? Uh-oh. Oh. Not the end of the world, but it dies in a bit of an inopportune spot there. And he has to build a granary. But yeah, I would consider holding Bolt here for like the first myth unit that comes at you. Especially as Zeus, where you have slow heroes, and the risk that he's going to have is that he's going to be facing off against probably some Sphinx. Because the mass Sphinx versus Zeus. But Zeus's heroes are just so slow, they work really well. Kind of the age up we got here. Got my little bit left of my yogurt. Finish it before it gets too cold. It's the end of the world. Also, while we're waiting here, I guess I could fast forward. Kids for my birthday got me a Mario little mouse pad, so I remembered to get it out. So here we are. We got a Mario mouse pad for the kids. from the kids for me. Yeah, we're seeing this again from Skater 2 games in a row is, well, this time it's just the mining camp plays too closely to the gold mine. But this over time loses quite a few resources, and these small mistakes here do add up over time. You're gonna cost yourself resources at the very early part of the game, and that's going to slow you down to whatever it is that you want to do. He wants a relic, I think. No, these relics are all... this one isn't a bad one. That gives you 2 lions early. The lions actually have some pretty... I always roll on top of my blanket with this rolly chair. Hey, thank you, Raptor. It was last week, so it's been a minute. But yeah, it was a good birthday. Having kids makes it, because, me turning 37, I mean, wee. But having kids, kids love it, so... Yeah, it's nice to have the kids that enjoy, Daddy's birthday. Yeah, I'm 37. Like, ooh. 37 is probably one of the most forgettable birthdays, I feel like. Like, 37. There's nothing to it. What relic does he want? Armory techs are cheaper. What did the wife get me? What do we got here? Yeah, we've got the monument spam into Sphinx. And this is a good strategy against the Zeus here. I would almost be a little bit unsure as to what is the best strategy against this. Let's see. The wife got me... I got a new coat. Like a pretty warm winter coat, actually. It's a nice coat. I mean, usually we aren't spenders. We don't spend a lot on clothes. Okay, nice little capture here. Oh, the Sphinx is... Oh, one more hit, 7. Oh, you... Oh. Shoot, you would like to get that killed. Lots of goats here. But you see, this is where I would prefer that you have a bolt for one of these. You should also wall up a little bit better. Wall this. Get to around here. Finish this off. Maybe just have this spot open and just have your heroes here. And what do you do? I don't see any value here with the hoplites. Because the Ra's just going to be in the base, right? Yeah, just sitting like this is, and your hoplites aren't going to get any value. They'll just die to the Sphinx. You got 2 gold mines too. This is a nice map for the Ra, because the Ra doesn't have to leave his base for a very long time. What else? Oh, I asked the wife for some shoes. I got some shoes. Some pretty cheap there. Nice sale on Adidas. Yeah, you don't want to be this far out with your heroes, because now they're just chasing. And okay, all right. Decent defense so far. No Vills lost, but I don't know what the hoplites are supposed to do here. I'm not sure maybe if Skater quite knows what the response is. I mean, there's 2 things you could try. Oh, we did get a kill with the hoplites, but then here's the problem: is these Sphinx are just gonna run in and kill them. So I just don't see the value of this. I mean, you're going to lose 3. Probably these 2 are going to get picked off as well. Oh, did pick off a Sphinx. And what are you going to get out of it? Like, almost what I would do here as the Zeus I think you grab this town center. Because you have the 2 mines in the base. You also, because he did bolt the early priest, which that's not the end of the world to bolt the early priest, because then you do get all of the goats. So I think the play here from the Zeus would be, I would almost consider Hermes, maybe. Because then you get a ceasefire from some of the pressure. Maybe. I mean, I guess it is a shorter ceasefire now. But you get your 2 town centers, your goats, and then... Yeah, see, there's... Actually getting decent damage onto all these Sphinx here. But... Okay. I think he forgot to queue villagers for a while, because you didn't kill any. There's just... Given the map we've got here... Actually, this fight's going as good as it really could for Skater. I'm actually surprised it went as well as it did. Especially because he's fighting into Axemen. But he doesn't need to be here in the middle. I mean, really, he should just kind of be defending against the Sphinx, because with just 2 heroes, yeah, he had to have forgotten Vill count for a long time. That's nice little garrisoning there. He's gonna trap that thing. Oh, don't let it get out. Oh, yeah, okay, all right. But anyway, getting back to why be out on the ice? Because what are you going to do? You're certainly not going to attack. How are you going to push into this base as a Zeus? Like, you're really what you're going to bank on is a heroic age fight at best. Because you're not going to push in and do damage against all these Sphinx that you know the enemy's going to have with your army. So why be out in the ice, which really, if Joey would have kind of controlled that a little bit better, particularly his Sphinx, that fight would have gone substantially better for him. But that's okay. But I didn't notice that. I'm glad you mentioned the villager count, because I'm going to have to look and see the villager graph in the after the game, but I'm going to guarantee that unfortunately this is going to be another game that's going to be lost just strictly because of one thing, which is not queuing villagers. The first game was just a very poor response to the Ancestors Eclipse, just way too late. And this game is going to be not queuing villagers, and you're basically, with each of those mistakes, throwing an entire game away just with one mistake, one kind of self-inflicted mistake, really. Because yeah, you can't be this far behind in villager count at this stage of the game. You just aren't going to be able to keep up. And again, we have, I mean, at this point he's being very well, there's no point of coming out here. It's a tough matchup, though. The slow heroes from the Zeus. What are they gonna do against all these Sphinx? And on a map where there's no there's no second gold mine to really pressure because you get 2 in the base. What do you? It's a tough draw. I would have, as the Zeus, grabbed a town center here and tried to just defend till heroic age with just heroes in the bare minimum. And then once you get heroic age, you get your 3rd hero, and then maybe you can, do something there. Toxotes and heroes. Athena maybe, because at least you do get like restoration. but he has no way of killing this. But really hasn't taken awful fights, just behind 12 villagers. Without, I don't think, ever having lost a villager. So that's tough. It's yeah, pretty decent time there with the units and the army numbers. But yeah, see, now the gold mine is gone. Like, see, this would be the point where, like, if no, gold mine wanted. You know, with the Sphinx that move very quickly, probably at some point this gold mine should have been scouted. But yeah, this would be like your timing attack that you would be wanting to hit is the Zeus, and potentially if you'd gone to, if he had gone, Skater had gone to town centers, yeah, he'd be at maybe a position with enough of an economy where he could push that, as we see the big defense here. But there's just not enough. Gotta garrison your archers and put them on the other side. This would help you out a little bit. None of this running back and forth. Just put them over here. There we go. And yeah, GG. I mean, overall, really not like poorly played by Skater here. Like, but I'm going to guess when we look at the yeah. It's one mistake basically dooms the whole game. And this is where just you've gotta make sure these villagers requeue. And I've been there, I've done that. But this is something you just have to stay on top of, because if you don't notice, you just lose the game regardless. Like, in this situation as Brad as Skater, you would have to just absolutely outplay the opponent. Like, Joey could have just done anything here, really, and just been so far ahead. It wouldn't have mattered. Because, I mean, you can see, you know, normally you want to see your graph start kind of becoming a bit of the old bell curve, and his is just straight because he didn't make any villagers at all. And you're right, Joey. I mean, as close as that fight on the ice was, I mean, imagine he had been producing villagers and had the extra army, he might have actually won that fight. And then we're looking at just a completely different game where he would maybe have the potential of pressuring this with his army. But yeah, that's because at 9 minutes, you know, the fight 9:30 is about where the fight is at that point. You know, he's basically been idle, no villagers produced, and yes, you pay for your villagers, but essentially a villager pays for itself within a minute. So he's just way behind on economy. And we can even, so at the 9-minute mark here, likely he would be even or a little bit ahead as the Greek player at this point. So he's essentially cost himself 1,600 resources at the time of the first fight. And that's it. I mean, if he has 1,600 more resources worth of military here, he certainly would win that. So yeah, it's just too bad. Mistakes happen, but you hate to see like a self-inflicted mistake that's just very preventable from is what's the kind of the root causes of a loss. And not to take anything away from Joey, but in fact, I'm looking at Skater here and I'm saying, what can I do to improve, or like what went wrong that game? I mean, it's very simple. I didn't queue. I literally didn't right click to auto queue my villagers again. And that's frustrating because then you really don't get any experience out of this game because he was playing on a fake. He was playing in essentially like an artificial um, situation at that point. I mean, you fought after having, you played after having your town center idle for 5 minutes. I mean, that's not a real game anymore. You cost yourself a win there. So, yeah, it's really, it's okay to make mistakes. I mean, everybody's going to make mistakes, but the thing is that you have to avoid the massive mistakes that give you no chance. You can have bad micro, you can have maybe a bit of a bad strategy, you can have some idle villagers. All that doesn't really matter because you might as well assume your opponent's going to be doing that to some extent anyway. But you can't have the massive mistakes that just loses the game for you, and that's what we had. So let's see game 3 here. Let's see how Skater does on game 3. See if you have any big massive mistakes here that just kind of dooms the game, as we have our set on the right player. Here he is, joeybadz, up 2-0 so far. joeybadz with a pretty decent season thus far in the Athenian League. He is set, joeybadz. He proclaims himself to be an expert set player, particularly in mirrors. He thinks he is just the cat's meow when it comes to set. As we are on the known with Till the Stars Expire as our Poseidon player. And I can actually give quite a bit of advice for this matchup because I play Poseidon. So I can actually I'll be able to give Skater, aka Till the Stars Expire, a lot of advice here. So my suggestion here in this matchup, what he's doing is I would change this build. What you want to do here, that I think is the easiest way, is to age up fast and just pressure with Hippocon early and get control of the map. With that said, what he's done is he's sent his villagers too late to gold. He's going to be building his temple too late, and he will not be able to hit the 330-ish age up that you would like to have here. I would not recommend, and this is me personally, I think the easiest way to get wins is to be aggressive. Shout here. He should also, in order to save time, there is a lot of time lost when it comes to attacking these aggressive animals. You really want to do as much damage as you can with your town center. So this rhino should have been shot down by the town center. He might as well too right now while the alligator's in range. Just shoot the alligator. Just kill that thing too, so he doesn't have to worry about killing that later. And then yeah, you want to age up right now. He should be hitting the age up button. Right now, he should have already hit aged up, but he's too slow to get gold. What I would recommend is, of your starting villagers, one goes to wood right away. You just keep him on wood. Your first 2 villagers you train from the town center go to gold, and then just food, and then you age up at 330, and then you kind of sort it out. Maybe 4 on gold, 4 on wood, another one on praying. Get a hero out early. If there's a good relic, you grab that. Otherwise, you kind of maybe send the hero forward and just try to make sure, try to find the priest or whatever. So I don't like this age up. It's too slow. Get faster. I think the easiest way to win is to force the opponent to make mistakes. And the easiest way to force the opponent to make mistakes is to be on the aggression. And the sooner you get on the aggression, the sooner you will make them make mistakes. Because this is a map here. I know you're playing against the Egyptian and you're like, they're going to get free towers. What am I going to do? There's going to be with... You can pressure the food. These berries are not safe. The chicken aren't safe. You'd like to force him onto the cows. And then once you force him on the cows, you can kind of just switch a quick age up. And see, now maybe Joey would not have gone out to this gold mine if he had seen a 330 age up here. Probably not. So it's kind of hard to get into hypotheticals. But like at this time frame, if he had hit his timing right, by this time he could have both heroes, a centaur here, and have a hippocon starting to come across the map. And then this would all be shut down. Joey would be pushed into his base. But it looks like instead, are we just going to grab a town center? Yeah, we are. And this one, I'd say, this is not the easy way to win. And I think it's easier the lower you go in the rating column. Is aggression will force so many more mistakes. The higher up the ladder you go, the better the players are, the better their fundamental responses are to aggression. But at this level, I mean, and I even have, I have success at it 1600 plus, just the all out, just hippocon, just ramrod against whoever I'm playing. I mean, I have success at 1600 level 2, so it's still fine. But yeah, you get your hero out right away, and then just put up your 2 stables, and then just hippocon spam, push the opponent into his base, and then kind of figure out from there. If you can hit things and do damage, you know, keep doing that. If you can't, you just kind of stay with your 8 hippocon that are enough to just keep him in the base. Then you consider, you know, kind of see what the game's going. You could maybe grab another town center if you really want to, or you could jump up to heroic age. But you're getting this town center just puts you in a very... It's not a way to get an advantage, really. I mean, you just are kind of delaying.